Now, one company that's watching oil closely is British producer EnQuest. It's announced its inaugural earnings results. EnQuest reported a full-year operating profit of $369 million. EnQuest is the only British company to drill exclusively in the North Sea. The company was founded in April last year. It was the product of a spin-off of assets belonging to Petrofac and London Petroleum. The company's worth more than £1 billion, and since its launch, its shares have surged more than 35%. Well, EnQuest Chief Executive Amjad Bseisu joins us now from the London Stock Exchange. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Good morning.
Operating profits around $300 million. Can you improve on that this year?
Yes, we are looking to increase our production targets this year from 21,000 last year to 26,500 this year. So, yes, we're looking for a 26% growth in production this year and revenues.
And the profits will reflect that come the end of 2011, will they?
With the oil prices being quite strong this year, I think our profits and cash flows will be very strong this year.
OK, talk to me about the oil price, because in sterling terms, yesterday, oil hit a record high. We know what's happening to Brent crude, to NYMEX crude. We know what's driving it higher, factors in the Middle East and North Africa. I mean, in the medium term, how high do you think oil could go?
Well, it's very difficult to speculate on oil prices, as we all know. Clearly, there's a risk premium associated with the price we have now, which is about $120 a barrel. But the average prices last year was about $80 a barrel. The year before that was about $62 a barrel, Brent. So if we look at any year in the past, there's not been one year where average prices have been over $100 a barrel.
Do you think that oil prices could match the records of 2008?
Difficult to say. Clearly, if the tension rises in the Middle East, there'll be upward tension on oil prices. I think the average could possibly be above 100 this year.
I want to talk to you about the Chancellor's recent budget, which I know took many UK oil companies by surprise. How did George Osborne's increased tax on UK oil production affect you?
Well, we're very disappointed by the increase, which really came as a surprise to us all in the industry and in the company. We clearly see the environment as being more negative now, and it's not really conducive for investment with the higher oil prices and also with the change in the tax environment as we've seen it. This is the third time tax changes in the last 10 years. But we do see this as possibly a silver lining for companies that are exclusively in the UKCS, with limited opportunities for other people to come in and invest in fields in the UKCS. Also, we're looking for the government to try and help with the smaller fields and the smaller field allowances. With the UK being a net importer, really there should be no oil fields that are left undeveloped because of tax reasons. We should really try and develop everything that is in the UK.
I mean, are you planning acquisitions? I know there are as much as $3 billion worth of assets for sale in UK waters. I mean, are you looking at some?
Yes, we are looking at acquisitions in the UK and beyond. And in the UK, as we mentioned, the prices of assets and the value of these assets has come down. But as I mentioned earlier, really there should be no assets left undeveloped in the UKCS with a deficit, net deficit from crude imports in the UKCS.
Does the Chancellor's announcement make you look further afield? I mean, you principally operate in the North Sea. I mean, could you look elsewhere because of what the Chancellor announced?
I mean, the UKCS is our core area. We think there are plenty of opportunities. Our business model is to take these small and marginal fields and extract value. We've built a very strong, technically integrated group of staff and experts that really take these smaller fields and develop them. But the business model we have is replicatable elsewhere and can be transported outside the UKCS. And we will look longer term to expand outside the US.
Have you spoken to the Chancellor? I mean, have you relayed your concerns in light of the budget? Because obviously you're not happy.
Well, we have written a letter to the Chancellor and as well as to David Cameron. But as I mentioned, we will try also work with the government on trying to ensure that the smaller fields can have allowances, possibly to make them be developed. With the higher tax rates, the decision on making a field investment is binary. So any number times 62% is, if it's zero, it's going to be zero. So if we don't develop a field, the tax stake for the government in UK PLC is going to be lower.
And just coming back to a final question, if I may, sir. I know you said that it's going to affect companies' investment in the North Sea. Will it affect your investment in the North Sea?
Well, in the medium and short term, we have 8 fields that we're looking at developing, which we're considering, and we see that our targets for 2011 and 2012 will be maintained. But obviously, longer term, without a change to help the smaller fields, I think the decline rate will go down. Will increase significantly. The decline rate has been about 10%, and we needed investments of about $6 billion a year to keep that 10% rate. So, yes, I think without help with smaller fields, there will be a significant decline, and we'll have to look elsewhere.
Amjad Bseisu, thank you very much for joining us today. The EnQuest Chief Executive speaking to us live from the London Stock Exchange.